What's up? Bradley Aidan Johnson here with another bodybuilding dictionary entry, and this time it is carbohydrates. Some of them us call them the devil, but of course you do need them and they provide energy, etc. Let's get into that. First of all, chemically, a carbohydrate, as the name suggests, carbon, water, more specifically, carbon, hydrogen, oxygen. That's what they're comprised of chemically, and there are many of them. Every carbohydrate is a sugar. Contrary to what you see on the back of packs where it says carbohydrates of which sugars, basically what happened over time is that the dietary council or whatever decided that some carbohydrates were sugars in terms of diet, like the more obvious sugar ones that are like sweet, such as, you know, sucrose, table sugar, and some of them aren't going to be sugars. But chemically, for you want to know, all carbohydrates are sugars, and they are sugars. They all end with the suffix "-ose", and the "-ose" is the one second, hold on. Pretty sure it's Greek. I'm gonna go with Greek. I'm 100%-ish sure it's Greek. Glucose, sucrose, maltose, lactose, cellulose, fructose, ose. There are about 50 of them, right? Literally about 50 of them. Those are the main, most obvious ones that you should know. You know, sucrose, table sugar, cellulose, cell walls, you know, fiber, etc. Fructose, fruit sugar. What they are is energy. They're pure fuel. The body takes them in and uses them to make stuff happen. Yeah, it's how your muscles do things, and how your heart pumps, and how your liver processes. Anything that's happening in your body requires energy. Yeah, like a house, and that energy comes from carbohydrates mainly. That's your body's primary source of energy. It's what is burnt to create things. When I say things, things happening, as opposed to creating literally things, which is protein. Sorry. You have to understand that your body technically doesn't need them. It likes them, and it's a primary source of energy. And without them, it's horrible. You know, quality of life will probably go downhill as you lose energy. But you don't actually need them, as opposed to protein, which you do need, otherwise you will die, and fat you need, otherwise you will die. With carbohydrates, you don't actually need them. You know, they're not a required part of diet. They're just so simple to burn and so abundant that, you know, we have them. But you can technically survive without them. Examples of carbohydrates: rice, bread, sugar, beans, oats, grains, donuts. Generally anything that didn't used to walk around is a carbohydrate, unless it's fat, which you shouldn't know because it will be oily. Most things that people eat generally day to day, people eat more carbs than anything else. You know, potatoes, it's carbohydrates. All vegetables and grains, things like that. That's what a carbohydrate looks like. Things that farmers deal with, those are carbs. What are they useful for? Energy. Pre and post workout, woohoo! When you wake up in the morning, breakfast. What do they mean to you? They are easily turned into fat. The body will use as much energy as it needs from them, and if there is more than the amount of energy is required for whatever it's doing, it will convert them into fat and store them as adipose tissue around you. Fancy word for fat, which it will store for in case later on you need some energy. One of the simplest ways to cut and lose fat is to cut your carbs, not your fat, as it seems logical. You know, eat less fat, have less fat. No, it's eat less carbs and have less fat. That's actually how it works. Sorry, you know, the food industry's been lying to you. It's fat. Don't worry about sugar. Don't worry about what is sugar from what isn't sugar. That's just what they decided to label stuff as. The only thing you need to worry about is total calories. In fact, I tell people when I'm designing programs for them what to eat, I don't even give them an amount of carbs to have per day. I don't. I tell people, you must get this protein. You must get this fat. That is because you need a certain amount of protein to have protein available to build muscle. Fat, you need a certain amount of fat for bodily function, which I'll get into in another video. You need fat or you will die. Carbs are just the rest. Like, you have a certain amount of protein, you have a certain amount of fat, and then you have the rest of carbs until you get to the number that you want calorically. I never even tell people how many carbs to get, because it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what your carb source is really. Get whichever one, you know, you like the most. You know, if you're missing a vitamin or a mineral from your diet, you like look into the carb to, you know, fill that vitamin mineral. But if you're taking, you know, supplements, it really doesn't matter. If you eat lean chicken breast along with, say, almonds and walnuts for your healthy fats, and you want to fill the carbs up, Haribo sweets, go for it. It don't matter. Brown rice, sweet potato. I personally love sweet potato, but you know, if you want to go for Haribo sweets, knock yourself out. As long as you're hitting the right numbers. Hopefully that's been some help. Bradley Aidan Johnson. carbohydrates@gmail.com. If you have any queries or suggestions or want to know anything more about carbs, I'll get into it with you. I don't mind. Yeah, like the video, like my Facebook, follow me on Twitter and Instagram, and of course, subscribe. Peace.